Let's just say even we are having a hard time trying to understand what on earth is going on. Because yes, we have a very convoluted timeline for the Pixel 4a and some confusing leaks of the Pixel 5, if these are two separate phones anymore. We have some leaks of the iPhone 12 emerging, hinting to a more powerful spec line, and it looks like we're getting a cheaper Galaxy Note 20, and we're not complaining. I'm Jaime Rivera, and for those of you that claim in the comments that I criticize Google too much lately, hey, I'm not the one doing weird things. Or I do, but I make them evident. This is Pocketnow Daily. Let's begin today off, as we always do, with deals, but this time as we get closer to Galaxy Unpacked. Obviously, those of you in the market to save some bucks, this is the time with those lineups going out. We have some deals on Samsung products like the Galaxy Note 10 Lite, which is currently $130 off at B&H, leaving it at $420 shipped for the 128GB variant. That's actually a good deal. The Galaxy Tab S5e is $89 off on Amazon, leaving the 64GB variant for $390, and the Galaxy Watch Active 2, which I do love, is getting a $60 discount, which means you can get it for $220. And there are more deals on Apple Watches, Sony earbuds, and more in the links in the description. Now, Evan Blaz is clearly hard at work when it comes to Galaxy Unpacked leaks, and today we've got two separate really good ones. These look more like Samsung posters and ads. First off, we have an image of the Galaxy Buds live, and we see the bean-like shape and the case, which we haven't seen before, and it looks like a squared box pretty much. They come in three color variants: white, black, and copper. And my god, speaking of copper, he also has posted a minute-long teaser of the Galaxy Z Flip 5G in its copper variant, and oh my god, the teaser shows the whole design of the phone on all possible angles, as well as some of the videos Samsung might be showing up on advertising. And I mean, it looks pretty much like the original Galaxy Z Flip, so to make it 5G makes it even more special. But my god, that color variant, that copper is fabulous. But now, speaking of Samsung, we actually decided to leave this segment after and separate because it's rather interesting. According to a Korean report, we might be getting cheaper Galaxy Notes this year. Last year, the Note 10 was priced at 1.25 million won, while the Note 10 Plus started at 1.5 million. Well, according to the report, we'll be getting a 50,000 won price cut, which transfers to around $40. The report claims that this will happen due to the lower demand because the pandemic and the fact that carrier subsidies will be smaller this year, meaning that the customer would have to pay more upfront. We're not sure if this will translate to Western markets, but if we compare it to last year's Notes, the Note 20 might translate to around $900, with discount in the Note 20 Plus or Ultra to around $1,000. Now sure, the price differences are not what I would call significant, but they are still less than the current price of the Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra. So this gets really interesting, as those phones will most likely drop in price as well. And how about if we now talk about Apple and what to expect for Apple Silicon Macs according to Ming Chi Kuo. This gets really interesting. First off, he says that he expects a 13.3-inch MacBook Pro with the same design, but powered by Apple Silicon, to start shipping on Q4 of this year, pretty much as Apple promised at WWDC. He also expects a new MacBook Air to go into production around the same time as the MacBook Pro for a late winter in 2020 or a spring launch in 2021. But then he talked about a new 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro models, which will apparently be redesigned completely, or we'll have to wait for this new design to happen until middle of 2021. Finally, the part that I like the most is the idea of Kuo claiming that the MacBook Air is going to drop in price because there's no more of the cost of Intel chips, which is crazy. I mean, I've been wanting to buy that MacBook Air in like forever. I mean, I could put it on my Amazon wishlist, guys. Like, why not? And yeah, let's also separate the iPhone 12 segment because it's a little long. It might as well have its own spotlight as we get to hear more about both design and specifications. We have a new image which was posted a couple of days ago comparing the new iPhone sizes to older iPhones, pretty much like the in real life ones we covered earlier this week. The 5.4-inch iPhone is all the way back between the SE and the iPhone 7. The 6.1-inch iPhone 12 is between the iPhone 10 and 11 Pro Max, which is pretty much the current one, and a new 6.7-inch variant is the last, and it's the biggest one. Now, we have some new leaks on the RAM from a tipster on Twitter, which got some of the details of the iPhone SE right, so take it with a grain of salt. He claims that the Pro models will bring 6 GB of RAM, while the regular variants will stick to 4 gigs. Now, other trusted sources pretty much followed on these same specifications, and if you think about it, Apple wants to save a couple of bucks right now, and after testing iOS 14 public beta, I could pretty much tell that the current internals handle it really well, so I think it makes sense for Apple to continue with that same amount of RAM and stuff in order to, I don't know, probably just keep the price down while the pandemic and all the mess happens. And finally, the most confusing and convoluted news today have to do with Google and its current Pixel and Nest roadmap. Or should I call it a mess? Bear with me. Let me give you an example. We get a teaser from Google for the upcoming Nest, which is the successor to the original Google Home. And we usually get these in the fall along with the Pixels, but this video looks like if there's no more waiting to be done, we might actually get a launch of that anytime soon. But then jumping back to Pixels, here's where things get confusing. The guys over at 9to5 Google dug into Android 11 beta code and found Google's entire lineup for 2020 with their code names. It starts with the current Pixel 4 and Pixel 4 XL, and it then moves on to the Pixel 4a, which we'll talk about a little more in a second. But then it goes on to the Pixel 5, and instead of Redfin being the code name for the Pixel 5 XL like we expected, we get a Pixel 4a 5G, because why not? This is Google. See, we're expecting the 4a to launch with the Snapdragon 730, while the Pixel 5 is set to bring the Snapdragon 765G. But now, if you think about it, this might mean that we could get these phones together, and that it's just the Pixel 4a lineup, one smaller and one larger with 5G, which could be that quote-unquote Pixel 5 that we covered the other day, which pretty much looks identical to the 4a, just larger. And speaking of the launch, welcome back, John Prosser. We were waiting for that Pixel 4a announcement, which was reportedly happening on Monday, July 13th, but according to Prosser, it just got pushed back again. He claims that the system now shows that the announcement is happening on August 3rd, which, call it the smartest way to shoot yourself in the foot when you've got the Galaxy Unpacked happening 2 days later. Anyways, let us know in the comments down below, what do you think of the strategy where we've got the 4a, a possible 4a 5G, and then some weird Pixel 5? I don't know. Listen to me, Google. Launch anything. Just start with something. Whatever. Just get back in the spotlight, because you guys make really good software in your phones. Well, just launch something. That's just me. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Also, follow us on social media. Our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to see me still stay at home, locked in, wearing a mask. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.